Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of my vanilla playthrough series of Factorio version 1.0. My name is Aiken, and we're going to have a wonderful time while expanding this starter area. While I set up this factory with some electricity, today my goal is to achieve some real automation in terms of metal plate production and even produce the first research, because research is our way of progress towards new machines. Because right now my abilities to do things are quite limited. I don't have too many things available, and thus I want to have more science to produce more machines. So I picked up a little bit of this and that. The amount of energy I have available is quite easy to read out when you just click on one of those energy poles. So the readout goes like this. We satisfy this amount, and behind the slash you see the maximum amount of available production. The accumulator charge is something we would need to research first, because that's basically an energy battery system which is storing power for you. Quite useful in the coming stages of the game. So this area here will be ultimately expanded until we hit 20 boilers and 40 steam engines. Those numbers are quite easy to understand. This thing uses 60 units of water per second tops, and the offshore pump provides 1200 units of water per second, so you can use up all the water of one pump with 20 of these boilers. And since every boiler can support 2 steam engines, you get the 40 steam engines. And that's what I call a complete generator array. So this is something I'm going to produce like a little bit on the side and slowly start expanding my power production, because right now I don't need this amount of power, but I will. And about the way I built that, I'm going to handcraft another cluster to show you what's up with the arrangement here. So it goes one more piece of pipe, because it has a certain goal in mind. So let's go for the inserters. Boom. Alright, so I go with one piece of pipe here, and let's place down the boilers. So I arrange them like this, that I do 2 of them together and then separate them again with one piece of pipe. That's because of the maximum radius of the energy poles, because one more step and they would trip off. And if I wouldn't leave those blank lines in between, I would struggle to connect all the pieces of this facility with power. So that's why I do it like that, in case anybody was wondering. If not, well, you're still welcome. So some people get OCDs from this game, and I don't know why, because it's such a relaxing and you know, sometimes this game gets the better of you. Some people are very, very vulnerable to this, and I gotta admit, I'm not really tidy when I play Factorio. A real important thing about this game is play it your way, how you have fun. The funny thing is, across the time I was playing this game, I've changed my playstyle several times, and I think that'll happen several times again, because it is a very wide and deep platform, which provides so many ways of approaching the same thing, that trying different things is fun. Oh, look there. There's a first friend, the biter. Biters are the original inhabitants of this planet, and they hate the pollution I do. So I can set up the pollution screen, and the red stuff here, once it hits their red stuff, they send red stuff at your factory. That's how biters work. But jokes aside, these things, they keep growing their nests like that, and they will attack your base. You can set them off when you start a game, but when I started this series, I wanted to have a complete standard setting game experience, so I didn't change anything. no ore patch density, no nothing. So you can see here how these nests work. They allocate some monsters that get spawned here on some spawning point, and this boy here will attack in a few moments again. To get rid of that, we need to research things that help us with that. Or alternatively, just break up the mining ops here, and this way these things won't attack here. But this is only a short-term solution. A long-term solution would be the research of the military technology. And wait a sec. Where's the gun turret? So with military technology, I should be able to here, the turret technology, obviously. So with this technology, where I can put up gun turrets, they're quite resource intense. But to research this, I will need 10 research packs of the color red, and I need to research each of them 10 times in the laboratory, 10 seconds in the laboratory. So you can build laboratories here in the production area, and since the biters are attacking already, I'm going to put this topic ahead on my schedule. I didn't expect the biters to go crazy on my little factory to be already, but let's do that. So laboratories take science packs and process them into new technology for you. That's basically how they work. And if you're having trouble to understand that, don't worry, I will show you how it works. It's quite easy. So now I'm going to handcraft those 10 red science packs I need for the turret technology here. So in the meantime, I have produced those laboratories. Let's put them down here. They need access to electricity. They can't work without electricity, and now I handcraft those science packs. This process takes a little bit forever, so let's use those electric mining drills that I've set up a moment ago. So this is my big starting iron patch, so I'm going to use its power a little bit for my starting area. So I'm going to put up 6 of those, and afterwards we're going to produce some more belts. So this is the so-called handcrafting phase of the game, where you don't have any machines that produce things for you. So most of the action still happens down here in this section, but this will stop mostly the longer the game flows. So control right click here again, and then followed into control left click to split it first, and put the other 5 in there. And now you see these get processed and the research bar here fills. So that's how we get science. And about the smeltering here, let's automate this as well. It's time to say goodbye to these nasty burner mining drills. So the bad thing about burner mining drills is you don't need them anymore, ever. Once you're done with them, you're done with them. So I put them into the box, and whenever you happen to end up with things you don't need anymore, you can put them into the box, and then you can put your cursor on it and hold down the C button while you have selected a weapon, and then you can just, well, put these items to their final rest, basically. It's a little bit of a messy thing, but there are not too many ways in Factorio to get permanently rid of things, because if I would drop them to the floor, they would be still lying around there, and one day maybe get picked up by some belt, who knows. Crazy things might happen. So now I'm going to output, or, well, no, I'm not going to output into that direction. I don't like that direction. There's too much forest there. So pushing the R button to relocate, and to rotate, of course. And now I'm going to have my iron here. There it goes. So Now I'm going to make it like that. So what starts to go alive here is what people like to call a starter base. Just realized that this direction is not something I want to take. Overall, there's no reason anymore to have the iron plates connected to the iron patch. It's way better to relocate my smelters to somewhere else. So I was considering waiting to gun down the box later when I'm done with all the burner mining drills, but then I was eager to gun down another chest where more burner mining drills are in there. So control left click with things on your cursor puts things on your cursor into a chest or something like that, and let's put that thing in here, and there goes. Recycling Factorio style. Okay, so right now we're going to have some power poles for here. There goes. And same for here. Alright, so now I'm getting the good stuff on the belt, and to provide this area with coal, I'm going to put the other good stuff on another belt, and then we're going to put down these things in here. Let's do them like that, because again I leave small intersections in between to make sure I have room for power poles, because that's quite important in the beginning. And later on you get better and more powerful power poles which cover up larger areas, but we're far away from that. So now I put up inserters, one on each side, one to pick up the iron and one to pick up the coal. And this now is a starter setup which stores the finished iron plates inside the smelters. This is something we won't be doing in the future anymore, because in the further future I'm having some options to make to get the iron plates on some belts too, but right now I have no room here, so there's going to be another tool later which will help us with this task, but that's blocked by research. But until then I will still need some supply of iron plates, and this is the fully automated version now. It takes the coal from this side and the iron from this side. These are electrically powered, and yeah, this is way better. So for the copper, I'm going to do a pretty similar thing, but since this is a starter base, I'm going to build improvised in a smaller scale, which means later you want to try to put the maximum capacity of these things to a test. All these machines, they have a maximum capacity of things they can achieve. Like these things, they can mine up half a unit of coal per second maximum. These things have a crafting speed of 1, and thus there's a maximum amount of units they can produce, and these belts, they have a maximum amount of items they can transport, and once we have put up all these things to their maximum capacity, then we're happy, kind of like then everything has been achieved which is possible. And right now I'm not caring about these thoughts at all. What I'm caring about is I want to have an automated source of copper plates and iron plates, because these things are the fundament of my production. So you see here, we're getting the copper on the belts, and now I'm going to pipe over that copper here. So I have so many pieces of belt on the ore patches right now, which is something I find personally intolerable on the longer scale of the game, because later on I want this place filled to be completely with miners. We want to strip mine this area of its ore. But this is something which is up for the future. Right now I just want to have some copper and iron, and this is going to provide a little bit. It's too small. We need a larger place, but stupid flies. We're going to get that later. So, same thing here. I'm using here the coal belt twice. Just there's no need to do things more complicated than necessary. So there goes large supply of plates, but like I said, they're being stored in the furnaces, and a furnace has a maximum storage capacity of 50 units. So I could storage things in chests here if I would arrange it a little bit, but I have no interest in putting things into chests right now. I personally try to keep things either in motion or have a good reason why I want to have those things stockpiled somewhere. Oh well, let's wait. So another thing I really need to get done before I can think about science in a larger scale is the automation technology. The automation technology gives us the tools we need to expand further. So we're going to need 10 more units of science for that, and we get access to the assembling machine and the long-handed inserter. I'm going to talk about these things once we have them. So 10 more pieces of science packs later. So I'm going to make the same thing as before. Sadly, I don't have any things to put down right now. So instead, I'm going to harvest a few units of resource here. And since I have too many units of coal in my inventory, I'm going to brimfill these guys with fuel, because this way I get rid of the excess material in my inventory. Same goes for ores and such. The stone, I'm okay with accumulating that a little bit in my inventory, because I'm going to need that later, sooner or later, for the furnaces. Because stone furnaces are always made out of stone. They're just comes with a name, I guess. So let's do the research on the automation there. So this is the handcrafted research. Later we're going to do the same thing as we did with the smelters. I'm going to have a place which produces those science packs automatically and leads them towards the laboratories. I think anybody new to the games should start to get the idea where those things are headed. So, well, I don't know. Today I have a pretty high amount of OCDs here. I don't know. Strong urge to put things in line, you know. But on the other side, it has been a pretty stressful day after all. Maybe that's why. So you see, trying to make things perfect only creates a mess. So there goes the automation technology. Now I have access to assembling machines. So let's create a bunch of those, like 3 or 4, and put them down here. So these are your next best friends right after transport belts, or well, your whole factory is your friend. That's the plot twist. I'm going to give away the whole story right away. The whole factory is your friend. So a assembler works like this. You put it down, and then you tell it what it has to produce. And for this here, for example, I want to produce automation science packs. I would need copper plates, and I would need iron gear wheels to achieve that. So copper plates, we already have those here. Iron gear wheels are made out of iron plates. So to get a red science pack, we will need another assembling machine producing iron gear wheels for us before we can produce automation science packs. So might sound like gibberish right now, but it will make perfect sense in a moment. So alongside with the assemblers, we got access to the long-handed inserter, a wonderful, marvelous piece of technology. It gives you access to a tile behind the belts. So this is what we need to get those belts, those plates on belts. So you see here, this way I can safely output my plates on belts. That was the missing piece. And same goes for this area, of course. I'm going to do an output for that as well. So this way I can now start producing things. Alright. So there's another problem. So I could either run this complicated around or use again the power of science to research logistics. Logistics gives us access to underground belts, and it will need 20 pieces of red science packs. So let's see what will happen first. Handcrafting of 20 science packs or finding a solution to do it differently. So I think I have a pretty nifty idea, which gets the job done without the use of the logistics technology. I'm just going to be going to use one of those long-handed inserters and do it like that. So here goes the assembling machine getting fed by this boy here. Again, the flat line shows where things are getting picked up from, and the arrow shows the direction where things are dropped down. So this way I have now solved that little puzzle. So let's do another little duo of assembling machines here and let them produce science packs. So let's oh, it's a little bit too narrow, isn't it? So let's do it otherwise. There we go. So just relocating that thing helped. And now I'm going to get a new bunch of inserters running, and so I would have solved the problem before the finishing of the science packs and the technology. There we go. So creativity and spontaneous solution of problems is something which you will do a lot in this game. But this here is the chaotic way to play the game, and it's not really efficient to do that in the later stages of the game. So now I have some place where I'm going to produce the red science packs, and well, let's put this like that. They need power, of course. So I'm going to bring those red science thingies over there. Or wait, let's rather bring the laboratories to the science, shall we? So sounds like a way smarter thing to do. So there we go. And now I can just use the laboratories here. There's another nice thing about laboratories to know. So right now the science packs are flowing in a pretty bad direction. I could either let the science packs flow upwards. That would work. But you can also just use the inserter to give this one science packs, and then if you connect a laboratory with another laboratory, they keep feeding each other with more science. So this way, connecting these two without having two inserters on the belt, that's just some interaction with the laboratories worth knowing. So now I have a automated input of red science packs here. This is of course intolerable for the future. That's why I keep building here, to motivate myself to replace that as soon as possible, because that's another thing, a bad habit of mine, and maybe it might grow to a bad habit of yours too. Improvised structures of my factories tend to linger around abnormally long. So whenever you have to improvise and don't plan your structure well, keep in mind that if it's not cool or working out too well, you can't just replace it anytime you want to. You don't have to wait for anyone's permission or any moment. This game doesn't punish you at all for placing somewhere down and replacing it afterwards. It's awesome because everything put down can be picked up again and put down somewhere else. So there's never a reason to be afraid of experimenting. The only enemy of mine is my laziness, basically, and you'll notice your own problems too one day. Whatever. So this is a pretty nice point, isn't it? Where we're getting everything done that needs to get done. So because I feel like running a little bit slowly here on the research, I'm going to produce a few more laboratories and connect them with each other. So this way science will happen a little bit more quickly. So the next step will be looking at how things can be made in a larger scale, because that's the next interesting question to take, because all of this right now is fine and dandy, but as far as the game goes, the required amounts of materials are way larger, so we have to scale up everything in a really big way. Alright, so a few more inserters. And the logistics technology has been finished. Awesome. Right after everything has been done. Alright, so next research goal for me is the logistics science pack, but that's pretty much a larger goal. You're going to need 75 units of red science there. So that's opening up a new science pack, which will be produced out of transport belts and inserters. And as you see here below each technology icon, the better the technology, the more demanding in terms of science packs it gets. So as you might have already assumed, the more advanced technologies need more and more different science packs. So as you see here, later stages you need 6 different ones. The Spidertron has been added up into the game on version 1.0. So this is high tech. But what I want to show off here is you need lots of different science packs, and the next step will be researching the green ones. And once we have researched the green ones, we have a good reason to get rid of all of this little complex and rebuild it somewhere else, better, bigger, and more durable. So until we hit that point, we're going to expand a little bit. Yeah. So I use a mod called MaxRateCalculator to do funny little things like this. So this is outdated and not usable right now. Ah, what a pity. So I wanted to work with this little tool here today, but so the thing here is there is a ratio behind things. So you have a production time of 3.2 seconds for one production of iron ore, and you have a maximum of 15 units for 15 items per second on a belt. This makes up a maximum number of furnaces that can be put alongside one belt before the belt will be not able to support more furnaces, and that's what we're going to have a look at during the next episode, because this is too much right now to put it into the end of this episode. But right now I have pretty much everything I need to progress further. I'm going to prepare a little bit between this and the next episode. I'm going to prepare more power arrays here, because you already saw how this is getting done, so this is not too exciting. I'm going to prepare some more mining drills and furnaces and belts and inserters to be ready for larger scaled production, because this is nice and everything, but we want to have as many stone furnaces connected, or I want to have as many stone furnaces connected to a transport belt as possible, as it makes sense, and that's what we're going to do during the next episode. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this run so far, and yeah, we're going to have more things getting done during the next episode. The sciencey part right now is taking some time, but we're going to get there. Until then, feel free to leave comments down below if you have any questions. If anything is explained in a way which makes you trouble to understand, please ask. There's me and a lot of other helpful people around here who want to help you with your questions. And apart from that, yeah, I hope you're coming back for more. And until then, have a wonderful time. Goodbye.